Good morning, welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Monday, the 26th day of Iyar. Let's begin with Tzedakah, Gedola, Tzedakah, Shemekareves Geula. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. So we continue in chapter 51 in the Tanya, and the Alter Rebbe talks about the dwelling of Hashem, the Shekhinah, in certain places more than in others. He asked the question, what does that mean? And the Alter Rebbe began by using an example of the soul and the body, and the relationship between the soul and the body. The soul itself is indivisible, and yet it animates a body, and animates a body in a way that every organ receives a specific type of energy that fits to that organ, an eye to see, ear to hear, and so on. And so where does it come? Where does this indivisible soul all of a sudden receive divisiveness in individual types of energy? And Alter Rebbe explains that there is basically three stages. There is the soul itself. The soul, then there is in potential. The soul itself in potential has the individual type of energy. Not that the soul is divisible in that way, but in potential it has the ability to bring out such individual types of energy. An example that is sometimes given is also when you put a seed into the ground and the seed itself becomes completely decomposes. The seed rots in the ground, and then from there it grows a new tree. And the new tree has part of it becomes the stump, some part of it becomes the leaves, and part of it becomes the fruit of the tree. So it's all in potential in there. There is the main power of growth that is in the soil, and that also, this power that is in the soil, the energy that is able to make things grow, is also a very simple one, meaning an indivisible one. It can grow the same energy, can grow tomatoes and can grow watermelons. And what makes that energy to become an individual energy that grows tomato, it is the potential that it has becomes materialized through the planting of that seed. And that seed has this potential to grow that type of fruit. So talking about the soul. So the soul comes, the potential light from the soul comes into the body. And in the body, first it goes into the brain. And in the brain, it has the general life that gives the entire body, that makes the body alive. And then there is also the individual energy that comes from the brain to the individual organs. This is why when halachically they say when a person is, God forbid, brain dead, so even though in the medical field they consider the person dead, but halachically it's not considered dead as long as the heart works. Why? Because although that individual energy that goes to the individual organs is no longer functioning, but the general life that the soul has in the brain is still there, as long as the heart is still working. And in any case, so this is what the Alter Rebbe explains. So the soul, so just like the soul itself, on the one hand, it is in every part of the body equally. On the other hand, no part of the body can appreciate what the soul is. It's beyond and above it. And the same thing gives the example that this is the light of Hashem, that the essence of Hashem is in every part equally, and every part of the world this world, the spiritual world, receives and is equally, has the presence of the presence of the very essence of Hashem, and none of the worlds are able to perceive the essence of Hashem. And what makes this world a world that has different levels of revelations, different levels of holiness? This depends on that light that comes out from Hashem. And we'll soon explain why he calls it light. That light, that energy that comes out from Hashem is a reduced energy, a reduced light. And depending on how much of this light is revealed, this is how more spiritual that world is. In the higher spiritual worlds, there is more light revealed. So let's see what the Alter Rebbe says inside. So Alter Rebbe, וההבדל שבין עולמות עליונים ותחתונים, ומצד המשוחס החיוס, אשר אין סוף ברוך הוא ממשיך ומאיר מבחינת גילוי מהעלם. The difference between the higher world, the higher and the lower worlds, is with regard to the flow of vitality, which the blessed Ein Sof causes to flow and illumine in a manner of revelation out of concealment. And this, the Alter Rebbe explains why this is called the light. Why in the Kabbalah they refer to the flow, the vitality that comes from Hashem, they refer to it as light. In other places, other books, other sources, they refer to the energy that comes from Hashem, they refer to it as Shefa. As Shefa means the flux, something coming out from Hashem, like affluence, flux. So what is the difference? Shefa is something that you give that comes out from the source to the recipient. An example of Shefa would be if you give water, if you give, or another example, if you teach someone something. When you teach someone knowledge, you give them knowledge. When you teach knowledge, the source is not passive. The source, the teacher, needs to be active. In order to teach someone, he needs to work and make sure to give and fit the teachings to the recipient, to the student. If you want to teach about nuclear energy to a kindergarten, you're not going to teach the same way as you're going to teach in the college. You need to reduce and to fit yourself to the recipient. But when it comes to light, the source itself is not in any way affected by the recipient. The source, the light, is the light. From the light comes out, and then it goes to wherever it goes. The same sun that shines on a beautiful castle can shine also on a garbage dump in the same way. It doesn't change it. And this is one of the reasons why this influence that comes from above, this flow that comes from above, is referred to as light. Which is one of the reasons why the influence and flow of vitality, of this vitality, is figuratively called light. Thereby animating the worlds and creatures therein. So in other words, it goes back to before what he said, that the flow of the life, the energy that comes from Hashem, the Ein Sof, revealing from the concealment to animate the worlds and the creatures. For the higher worlds receive this vitality and light in a somewhat more revealed form than do the lower. Meaning even in the higher world, this light and vitality is not manifestly revealed. It's not completely revealed, even in the higher world. And all creatures therein, meaning in the higher world, they receive the revealed aspect of vitality, albeit each according to its capacity and nature. So the capacity, the nature of the vessels that receive the light, according to the vessels, this is how much light, how much revelation of the light goes. Which is the nature and form of the particular flow with which the blessed Ein Sof imbues and illuminates it. Now in the lower worlds, in the spiritual world, the highest spiritual world, this light shines, albeit in a reduced way, each one according to its nature. And then when it comes to the lower worlds, in the lower worlds, the light is not only reduced, the light is also concealed, so to speak, with garments, to create a different type of light, a different type of energy that comes. Again, because it cannot, not only is it not able to receive a revealed level of light, it cannot receive this type of light also. It needs to be changed through garments. But the lower worlds and creatures, even the spiritual ones, do not receive the divine life force in quite such a revealed form as it is received in the higher worlds. But only by means of many garments that conceal. Wherein the blessed Ein Sof invests the vitality and light which he causes to flow and shines on them in order to animate them. So that the divine life force is garbed in many garments, so as not to be revealed. So this concealment involves not only a multitudinous profusion of garments, a quantitative manner of concealment, but a qualitative one as well. There is a vast difference between the insubstantial garments that conceal the vitality in the higher worlds and the much denser garments necessary to conceal the godly vitality to the degree that creation of the physical becomes possible. So that's the idea of this light of Hashem coming down to each world, but ultimately the very essence of Hashem is in each and every level, even in the lowest level. Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz, Olav Shalom, said something nice about this. He said when we say in Tehillim, it says, "Im esak shamayim sham ata, ve'atzia sha'oli neka." If I will soar up to the sky, you are there. And if I go down to the pit, at the bottom, the very bottom, Sheol, you're still there. So he says this is the difference when you look when you understand, when you appreciate Hashem is everywhere, you can see that no matter where you are, there's God. And say this is why, so he says, Rabbi Shlomo says, perhaps in a somewhat or a humorous way, he says that's why the wicked, says the wicked, they never leave the purgatory, always in hell, always in purgatory. He says why? Because they don't believe. If you believe that Hashem is everywhere, so that is no longer hell. It's no longer a purgatory wherever you are. When you realize that Hashem is there, Hashem is everywhere, and that itself is the purgatory when you don't realize where you are. So the bottom line is that we realize that no matter what situation, Hashem is everywhere, and the very essence of Hashem is everywhere. And when we see physical things, it is the light of Hashem that is concealed, and it's concealed with garments. Perhaps there is many garments. All we need to do is to remove the garments and to find the essence, to find the Pintaliyid, the Neshama that is in us. A wonderful day, and with Hashem, we'll see you tomorrow.